Welcome to Exceptional You. This is Ashley Spurgeon. I am so happy that you've come in. Make yourself comfortable, grab a cup of coffee, whatever. Today we are diving right into the topic of mom guilt. I follow a lot of people's blog posts, podcasts, video recordings. They range from personal development to business development. I am also building a business. I am a wife, a mother, and on top of that, I have a full-time job. One question I see asked on several different medias is about the question of mom guilt. This is a serious thing, and it plagues so many women and even men who are trying to better themselves by building something new. But it is also just having to go to work, having commitments that take you away from your children. Or maybe it is the more serious issue that you made a bad choice and your kids were affected by it. How to cope, release this weighty guilt, and how to do better from here on out is what we're discussing today. Parenting is the biggest responsibility you will ever have in your life, even more so than running $1 billion company. Raising children, your children, to be thriving, strong, independent adults is the biggest thing you'll ever do in your life. Before you were a parent, you were able to focus mostly on yourself and maybe on a partner or, of course, your friends and families. But nothing compares to the scope of all of a sudden having someone who is completely dependent on you. Anyone who has a child will testify to the amazing ability of these tiny creatures totally taking over your heart. And now they're taking over your life. The great thing is that you don't mind. Nothing in the world can compare to the love you have for the child or children in your care. This child does not have to be by birth. Just knowing that you have the awesome responsibility to care for, feed, provide, and nurture this person into a full and happy life is an awesome responsibility. But what happens then? You feel guilty of every choice you make that takes you away. Every choice you make where you cannot give them something they want, the guilt that you cannot provide for all of the activities you desire to give them to help them to grow, to be the most educated and cultural adept person ever. Guilt will follow you everywhere and will be a real part of your life. Welcome to parenthood. How do you deal with it and turn it into something constructive? I have been a mother of 3 wonderful kids for 30 years. And not too long ago, I got one more daughter through marriage. I have been very blessed. But I've made some bad decisions over the years, and I have learned how to relate to those feelings of mom guilt. I've also spent time as a single mom, which can compound the guilt. I had learned from the past mistakes to grow my relationship with my children. I have 10 different steps, and because this is a video and most people have very short attention spans, I'm going to try to be brief. If you all like this, I can break it down into a series where we can go into more detail. I'm great with details, examples, and stories. So let's jump right in. Number 1, be the best parent you know how to be. And keep reminding yourself that you are. If you feel that today you weren't, wake up tomorrow knowing you get another chance. 2, make family time a priority. Calendar it. Contact me any way that you can. Ask me for a copy of my calendar. It is perfect for these things. I will get into a little bit more detail when we get down to number 4. Number 3, make the time you have together really matter. Listen to your children. Even if you think, oh, they're just, so little and they don't have a grasp of our language or whatever, what they say and how they say it is so important to them. So don't discredit anything. Take the time to really listen. Delve into this little personality, or maybe you have older kids, a bigger personality. And just, you may not have all week to spend with your children because of your work and your commitments, but the few minutes that you do have, make it matter. Really communicate and listen to your children. Now, number 4, one of my priorities, take me time. Take care of yourself. Calendar it. That's where I said I'd get back to my calendar. I have a calendar. I live by it. It's posted on my refrigerator. So not only do I know where my priorities are, my family knows where my priorities are. I have my family time on there, and they know here's the time I'm available. Anything you need, this is your time. Come and see me. Let's go do something together. Let's sit down and have a talk. Let's watch a movie. Whatever. This is the time I have specifically set aside throughout my week. It's family time, but the first priority is me. Because if I can't be whole and confident in who I am, and I haven't taken good care of myself, I'm not going to be there 100% for my kids. And, it's kind of like running a little business. The more of them you have, the more you spread yourself out. So me time is very important, and that was the first blocks that I took out on my calendar. I blocked special time off. It's my favorite time of the day. For me, it's in the morning, first thing when I get up. And I block that out, and I put in big, bold letters, me time. So my family knows that they need to respect that time as well. This is important to me, and it's also important to them because I am better able to bring myself into their time because I've taken care of myself. So once again, there's that calendar. Contact me, ask me for a copy. It's really easy to use, and it's a lot of fun. So your first two priorities on your calendar, you put me time, and then you mark off your family time. Some of the other stuff just naturally goes in there. If you work from 8:30 to 5:30, that's automatically blocked out. But the thing that really amazed me was when I blocked out the family time, how much was really there. I mean, I had this huge yellow splotch all across my week. And then I find a lot of times, my husband has stuff going on, my kids have plans with their friends, whatever. So then I also get a little bit more time for me. Or I have time to do something nice for them. Okay, so number 5, have a loving relationship with your spouse or your partner and really nurture it, okay? Because the relationship and how you display your relationship to your children will teach them how to have a healthy relationship as an adult. So this is critically important. If you are not in a good place with your spouse, work on it. It's very important to raising healthy children so that they grow up to have healthy relationships. I'm not going to get into the counseling of relationships at this point, but it is important. So keep that in mind. The loving touches, the little whispers, the small kisses, spending time together, dating. It's really important for kids to see this. Not only is it important for them, it's important for you. Number 6, do not overcompensate out of guilt. Who all's guilty of that? Okay, my kids knew this so well before I got a grip on myself. Children are the best salespeople in the world, and they are master manipulators. And if they know there's a weakness there, they're going to dig in, and they are going to have everything they ever wanted, nothing of what they really needed, because we feel guilty. It's kind of like how we eat when we're guilty, or how we go out and spend money on when we're guilty, when we feel bad. Don't overcompensate your children, because they're learning a bad message by you doing that. They're learning how to manipulate people, and that's not healthy. They're learning that there are no boundaries, and that's not healthy. Where can I go with this? Okay. I was very guilty of that with my middle daughter. I always told her she was a master manipulator, and she grew up to be one because at that time I didn't have those boundaries. I didn't learn to say no. Your kids need to learn if they really, really want something that they get to earn it. They work towards it. That builds a work ethic, and it builds goals. So if you feel bad because you're out of the house so much and you work so much and your kids want something and you get it for them, then they're not getting the right message. And it's not good for you, because that just builds more guilt, because now you're doing something that you normally wouldn't if you weren't feeling so bad. cut yourself a break. You know, we're parents, we're employees, we're having to raise a family, and it's expensive, and we have to work. We can't all just sit at home and be with our children 24 hours a day. So like I said earlier, make every moment count. Don't overcompensate out of guilt. Make some time for your children and give them you, because that's really what they want. They don't want the stuff, they want you. Number 7, remember you are not raising children. You are raising future adults. This is very important, that even at an early age you establish independence and teach them to stand up for and speak for themselves. If you don't, then you're going to have very insecure, dependent adults. Example, like around the age 10, 11 years old, they're getting towards the end of elementary school, entering middle school. They have a problem at school. Something needs to be done. Mom, you know, this happened at school. I really need you to go talk to the office. And I would tell my kids, no, you need to go talk to the office. Okay, you bring the issue up. Let them know what you need. Speak for yourself. If at that point it can't be resolved, I'm here for you. And they learn to do this. I know it's scary. That's like it's scary when you have to go interview for a job. It's scary when you have to, you know, go to the courthouse to pay for a ticket that you got, you know. So if they don't learn these things as children, how are they going to manage these things as adults? Do you want your 30-year-old daughter calling home because she had a speeding ticket and now has to go to court, and you need to go and hold her hand and speak for her at court? Well, no one's going to respect her. So always remember, you're not raising children. You are raising future adults. Number 8, incredibly important. I hope all of these are seen as important because really they are. I wouldn't have put them in here. Lead by example. Don't ever go by the motto of do what I say, not what I do, because it doesn't work. Children are sponges. They see everything. They're incredibly smart. They hear everything. You think they're not paying attention. They are. Behind the scenes, these kids watch everything you do. So you want to be a good example. You want to be a good mentor. You want to lead them down the path where you would like them to go and develop into beautiful grown-ups. So always remember that they are going to do what you do, not what you say, unless those two are really aligned together. Number 9, no instruction manual was included. Get advice. Don't be too proud to ask for help. There's millions of people, resources, communities out there. If you're not comfortable going to your mom, your grandmother, your sister, your aunt, your best friend, there's plenty of places to get good advice. And you know in your gut if it is the right advice for you. So get advice. Don't let your ego get in the way. Nobody's a perfect parent because we all learn as we go, and every single child is completely unique from any other child. Number 10, grow through your mistakes and failures. That is the path to success in any area of your life. They will not stop you. They will not hold you down unless you let them. It's also a great learning tool for your children. When you make a mistake and they see it, they can also see how you correct that mistake. If you make a mistake with them and you apologize, they learn to be gracious adults. Okay, so grow through your mistakes and failures. Here's the bonus, okay, the preteen and the teenage years. At this time, you think, oh my gosh, they're finally gaining some independence. You don't have to be so, feel so bad about not being there all the time for them. They don't need to be watched on a consistent basis. You can relax. Yes, you can. But now in today's technology age where everybody has so many devices and they're plugged in all the time, you need to be completely aware of what your children are doing, who they're communicating with. Keep nurturing this relationship. The amazing thing about the teenage years, and I loved the teenage years, I never really had problems with my kids. No, they weren't perfect. But we had an amazing relationship because now you can have conversations and discussions at a whole new level. Don't let them pull away and get so involved with their friends and their personal likes and activities that you go days without touching solid base with your teenagers. Schedule dates to have with your kids. That way you can go out and focus one-on-one. My stepdaughter, she was going through a bad time, so we went and had lunch at Chili's, and we had a great time, and we really got to delve a little bit into what was going on, where she felt stuck, and how to get past it. In some ways, just to take care of herself. She really appreciated that. I gave her a journal. This was months ago, and I found out the other day she still has it, and she's using it. So I'm like, yay, that was a great time. My son and I, who just turned 14 yesterday, of course, yesterday we had a great day. I took the day out of work. We went and, explored downtown Houston. We went to Hard Rock Cafe for lunch. It was great. But even other than that, I'll take a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon. We have this old-time soda fountain in downtown, our little downtown in this small town that we actually live in. And we'll go there and, get a sandwich and a hot fudge sundae, or they have these hand-dipped shakes that are amazing. And we just kind of laugh and talk and have a good time. Don't want to lose that connection with your kids. Really, because what you're doing is you're starting all over with a whole different kind of relationship now that they're teenagers. The conversations go from discussing things that children talk about to discussing things that adults talk about, and your kids are getting into that, and they're smart, and they're focused on the world, and they're fascinating to pick their brains and hear what they think. It is hard because you do feel like you can relax, and it's easy to let them slip away. And when it happens, you start having the conflicts, the differences of opinions. Now, granted, those are going to happen anyway because they're at an age where they want to express their individuality. They're trying to figure out who they are, where they fit in the world, and it's confusing, and they have all those hormones. But it's a crucial time to build this relationship. Don't let your teen or your preteen get lost in the wayside because they do not need the constant supervision. They do need time with you. Adult conversations, a listening ear, a mentor, and a role model. You need a few precious, years. Because before you know it, they're crossing the stage to get their diploma, and then they're off in the world. Thank you so much for watching through to the end. I am Ashley Spurgeon. This is Exceptional You. Please share this on social media. If you know it would speak to somebody, send it to them with my love and my blessings. Please leave your feedback and comments, questions, concerns, and even your criticisms. I learn from mistakes. If you would like me to break this down into a series, please speak up and let me know. I do have a lot of experiences dealing with guilt as a parent. It plagues so many of us, but it doesn't have to paralyze your dreams. Now, for the rest of your Saturday, go off and have an amazing time with your family, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you so much for being here.